We all know there are $45 trillion of baby boomer wealth sitting in the registered investment advisors. That's a giant amount of wealth. It's the single richest age group in the history of the planet. And they're gonna die. Just like Charlie Munger passed away, God rest his soul, and that money is going to younger people and younger people like crypto. So as we see this generational shift of wealth, it is shifting into a group that is really happy with digital assets. And so that's the one thing. And the second is we have a government that can't keep its pants on. Like we have a government that can't stop spending money. On the left and on the right, Congress is failing us as citizens. They are spending too much, and that is the narrative for why Bitcoin goes higher.
We're only 5 months into 2024, but it's already proving to be a pivotal year for Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency industry. In January, after a decade of disappointments, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission finally approved several spot Bitcoin ETFs. The success of BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, and other spot Bitcoin ETFs has been remarkable, significantly boosting Bitcoin and other crypto asset prices. In March, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of $773,000, marking a historic milestone. On a year-over-year basis, Bitcoin's value has surged by over 150%, signaling the onset of a bullish market. Since the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, there have been several other noteworthy developments, but none as impactful as the regulatory shifts. According to Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz, we're witnessing the most significant political shifts since Bitcoin's inception. The U.S. Senate's decision to repeal the SEC's Staff Accounting Bulletin 121 on May 16, 2024, reflects a bipartisan effort to create a more balanced regulatory environment for the crypto industry. This move, coupled with the passage of the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act by the U.S. House of Representatives, signals a significant victory for the cryptocurrency industry. Novogratz emphasized the importance of these regulatory changes, highlighting their potential to attract tens of trillions of dollars into Bitcoin and the digital assets space.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
In the crypto political landscape in the last 2 weeks. And it started really with kind of a bizarre missive from the White House that said President Biden is going to veto the overturn of SAB 21. And when you think about that, you've got a president pre-announcing he's going to veto an arcane accounting rule that the SEC had filed. You're like, why? And Donald Trump, over the savvy political machine, says, wait a minute, I'm going to be the crypto president. A lot of people like that stuff, Bitcoin. I don't like it so much myself, but I tell you, you like it, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be your president. And, for years, I've been in DC trying to tell people this should be a bipartisan issue. It needs to be a bipartisan issue. Telling my Democratic friends, guys, don't keep poking the beast. And that was the day the beast got poked, right? I tweeted, wow, the Democratic Party has decided they're going to be the party that doesn't like dogs, right? There are more crypto owners in America than there are dog owners. And a lot of them are single issue voters. In that week, that was it. You could see it on crypto Twitter. People got fierce. It almost became a purity test. If you don't vote Republican, you're not really a crypto guy. And the Democratic Party heard that. And so what did you see? First you saw 9 Democratic senators cross the aisle on SAB 121, which is really an arcane accounting rule that will allow TradFi custodians into our space, right? And so that's a big deal, including Senator Schumer, the head of the Senate, and more importantly from New York, where there are a lot of crypto jobs. The same day, or 2 days later, the SEC says, well, calls up all the ETF applicants, get ready. I don't know what happened. It certainly feels like someone from the White House called Mr. Gensler and said, dude, you got to change your stance. It's the only thing that logically makes sense. Of course, I wasn't there. I can't tell you for sure. But now we've got an ETF coming. Elizabeth Warren had a huge sway over crypto politics. And if anything happened in the last 2 weeks, her party said, Elizabeth, enough. Now you've got us in hot water with this giant group of crypto voters. in a very tight election year, and we don't appreciate it. And so in lots of ways, you can look at this as a giant rebuff of Elizabeth Warren. It's great for all of us because it has gotten the wheels of movement going forward, right? We passed FIT 121. That's a great start. That's now in the Senate, right? The way DC works, right? The House passes bills and the Republicans and the Senate makes laws. And so the most important person right now is Debbie Stabenow, the senator from Michigan, right? Because she's the chair of the Ag Committee where this bill is going to be, the Senate version is going to be built bipartisanly out of the Ag Committee. And if that gets through, those two can decide, Schumer will put it to a vote, and if it gets through, it's going to be law.
For several years, Mike Novogratz has been tirelessly advocating for suitable regulations in the cryptocurrency industry. In 2021 and 2022, he collaborated closely with Senators Cynthia Lummis and Kirsten Gillibrand on their bipartisan crypto bill. Thus, it's no surprise that he's excited about the recent developments. In a social media post on Platform X, the Galaxy Digital CEO expressed his enthusiasm, stating that the current week has witnessed several watershed moments for the U.S. digital asset ecosystem. Crucial steps are being taken to provide much-needed regulatory clarity, protect consumers, and promote American innovation. Novogratz reiterated his unwavering support for the idea that crypto should be a bipartisan issue, emphasizing that it's an exciting time for the industry. Novogratz's excitement is also fueled by the substantial influx of money into Bitcoin, and soon Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies, through exchange-traded funds. Earlier this month, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas revealed that Millennium Management LLC, one of the world's largest investment management firms, holds the largest investment in Bitcoin ETFs, totaling about $2 billion. Balchunas noted that Millennium Management LLC is one of the 500 holders of spot Bitcoin ETFs, representing approximately 200 times the average number of holders for a new ETF. Various categories of investors, including pension funds, hedge funds, investment advisors, and family offices, are adequately represented in the ownership of these ETFs. Let's return to Novogratz's fireside chat with CNBC's Mackenzie Sigalos.
The two biggest things that will shift the landscape in the U.S. around crypto is this accounting rule being passed or being overturned and the market infrastructure bill, right? What does the accounting rule do? It allows Bank of New York and State Street, the world's biggest custodians, to start custodying crypto. And the market structure bill, not good for me because the day after it passes, Citibank's going to be calling the headhunters to call for my employees. But what has stopped Wall Street at large from being a participant in the digital markets is regulatory uncertainty. It's the fear that the Fed is going to call and say, no, you can't do that. The fear the SEC is going to be down their throat. The fear that they're going to get a Wells notice, just like almost all the crypto companies. And so as that goes away, you will see a stampede of Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and Citibank and Jefferies and everybody else into this space. I'm hoping, in some ways, I hope it gets delayed a little bit, allows guys like us to build our muscles a little stronger, because that's really when the big show happens on who's going to be the service providers to the universe that comes in. And so, the first movers are wealth management clients who said, I want some of this. And just so you know, places like Morgan Stanley, they need that ETF to season for a little more than 3 months before their salesmen are even allowed to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, guy in the white hat in the front row, I think you should put 2% of your portfolio into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And remember, people don't just buy Bitcoin, they get orange pilled. Bitcoin is sold, right? There's an army, all of you are part of it, that convince someone of the merits of crypto, of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple if you're Brad Garlinghouse, right? This is a really interesting point. Because it's a new asset, it almost is always sold, right? Larry Fink got orange pilled. He didn't wake up one day and say, God, let me become a Bitcoin firm. There was a concerted effort by 10, 12 people to convince him of why Bitcoin was important for the future. And so now you've got hundreds of salesmen at Morgan Stanley and the other, RIAs all around America who are learning the story themselves and picking up the phone and telling their clients, put 2% of your portfolio, what are you scared of? Right? That conversation is starting to happen. This is a 10-year conversation, not a 10-week conversation. There are two things that people really like. We all know there are $45 trillion of baby boomer wealth sitting in the registered investment advisors. That's a giant amount of wealth. It's the single richest age group in the history of the planet. And they're gonna die. Just like Charlie Munger passed away, God rest his soul, and that money is going to younger people and younger people like crypto. So as we see this generational shift of wealth, it is shifting into a group that is really happy with digital assets, that is comfortable with digital assets, that they think this is their asset class. And so that's the one thing. And the second is we have a government that can't keep its pants on. Like we have a government that can't stop spending money. On the left and on the right, Congress is failing us as citizens. They are spending too much, and that is the narrative for why Bitcoin goes higher. The same narrative for gold and silver is the narrative for Bitcoin. That's not going away.
Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats opposed to cryptocurrency are evidently facing setbacks, but they refuse to concede without a final stand. Despite repeated defeats in recent weeks, the Massachusetts senator is now pressing the Biden administration for answers regarding the use of cryptocurrencies and fentanyl trafficking. Warren, along with Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, penned a letter to the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Drug Enforcement Administration, seeking updates on efforts to combat drug traffickers' exploitation of crypto for their illicit activities. In their letter, Warren and Cassidy highlighted the increasing role of cryptocurrency in the global fentanyl trade over the past decade, both in facilitating trafficking and laundering criminal proceeds. The agencies have until June 14 to respond, detailing their assessment of cryptocurrency's significance in drug trafficking, proposed initiatives for the next year, and metrics to measure success in combating illicit crypto use in the fentanyl trade. Despite Warren's tendency to misuse data to portray the crypto industry negatively, her efforts are faltering, especially as evidence shows fiat currencies play a larger role in illicit activities. Despite Warren's efforts, the tide seems to be turning in favor of cryptocurrency. Even her influential banker donors are expected to embrace the crypto trend soon. Share your thoughts on Mike Novogratz's interview in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.